All right, so here we are for the last section of the week, and welcome back to DaVinci Resolve 2023, Section 4, Take 47. So three skills today, but only realistically two skills. We're going to add a little bit of music and then manipulate that to a timeline in the form of volume only and the transitions at the front and rear of that, and then to the quick export button here, which I didn't know about until today. All right, so let's get after it, I guess, huh? Okay, so I've got this all set up and ready to go. In order to put some music in, I guess we're going to need some music to put in. And just out of things that I've learned in the other 47 takes that I've done today, I'm going to put this in, and then the first thing I'm going to do is go over here to the inspector and make sure that the volume is turned down quite a bit, down to the 30s, just so it doesn't come back onto the recording here. So yeah, that's nice and low. Okay, so I double-clicked the song, and it came up here in the monitor. And just like any piece of video or anything like that, you see here you can do an in point, you can do an out point, and then you can bring the video in, or the audio in strictly with the append button, and it lands at the back end of it. So let's undo that and undo those. And in the video that I watched, it brought the whole thing in, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And that brings this little thing to be solved here. And the easiest way it was to slide the video into place there to the beginning was simply to grab a hold of it and move it over with the mouse. I really don't like doing stuff with the mouse, but that seemed like the way to do it for now. And then there was a couple ways of trimming this off. So we come down here and we make sure that the snapping thing is on, and we bring our control head over to the end, and we can just click the scissors and highlight the back side of this and hit delete, and boom, you're ready to go. Everything's all trimmed up both sides. The other way to have done that, that I like a little bit better actually, is if I'm going to have to mouse it. Let's undo that here, undo that break as well, as to just simply with the snapping thing on, just simply mouse over to the tail backside there and just drag the darn thing over. It's non-destructive editing and leaves some audio on that side for a tail for a transition. So speaking of transition, let's do a couple. So just like the video transitions, which we saw earlier, there are audio transitions up here in the upper left-hand side. So we can click that, and these are just three different volume ranges. So that's a little bit bigger volume range, a little bit lower volume range, and this one is just the Goldilocks one right here. So let's double-click that one, and notice that it has its little red standard mark in it. So we double-click that one. We can come down here to our easy front and rear transition add-ins. So since it's one long thing, well, let's just go ahead and add this into the end and add it into the front, and we are done. That's all there is to it for that. And as you saw me just do over here on the inspector a moment ago, I came on and turned the volume down. So in order for the inspector to see the audio, you have to click it, and then it'll allow you to do all kinds of good stuff here with it. I turned it really far down so it wouldn't come out in the recording here, because I kept trying to blow everybody's ears out. But right and left balance is what usually called on a stereo. They call it pan here for us. Pitch. There's some speed changing can be done. Of course, there's an equalizer, and there's a whole other part called Fairlight. There it is, down here in the end. Let's get these out of the way. So this is Fairlight down here, and I'll show you that real quick, but that's all about some serious video edit or some serious audio editing, and we'll get to that a little bit later on, and I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so speaking of transitions and turning the volume down so it didn't blow everybody's ears out, let's turn the volume back up just a touch, and I think right about here is going to bring it to negative 12 dB when we put it out. So let's click on that and play a little bit of it, see where it is on the scale. Okay, that's not too bad. So the idea of the negative 12 dB thing is if you export it right now and you got it, your sound levels on or about that, somebody will be able to listen to that MP4 or listen to that clip that you've uploaded to YouTube without having to touch their own volume. That's been my rule of thumb, and it seems to work pretty good for me. Okay, so over here to the quick export, I'm really kind of impressed with this. Wish other people thought this well. The codecs, obviously we're here at H.264, nothing fancy about this footage. Then it gives you a quick rundown of what it really is, 1920 by 1080, the codec again. What your frame rate is again, a lovely cinematic 24 frames a second, and I like this, the duration, this kind of in your face. The other way of doing this down here at the little rocket ship it's a little bit more buried, and that's important information for me to know before I send it out to you. So we can say export and call it timeline 1 or whatever you want to call it here. And where? Oh, let's just throw it on the desktop, and you just click on those up down buttons. Say the desktop, click save, and it takes this Mac Studio about 3 seconds to render 30 seconds, which there's nothing complicated in here anyway, just some transitions. And that is all there is to it for today, kids. So there is some more keyboard stuff to this for bringing things in and bringing things out, but that's all I really am comfortable with right now. The keyboard stuff, I kind of have to figure it out as I go. There's no real instructions from the factory other than, you know, it does do this and it does do that, but it doesn't really show you how. So you got to figure it out for yourself. At any rate, that's it for this week. Let's clip back over here, see what we got on for next week, just to prep for you a little bit. So, reason why I stopped here Friday or Thursday today, because the next one's a 2-hour video and has, I don't know, 10 or 15 skills to go through. So that'll be a long video, and this was a good stopping place for the week. So have a great weekend. Thanks for everything, and we'll see you in the next one.